Thanks, Ivan and Taylor. Hello, I'm Nelson Liu, and welcome to Western Perspective. On tonight's program, men have succeeded with high-paying jobs, opportunities and social standing, but women have suffered without the same opportunities. Women's movements have tried to level the social, economic and employment field with men, attempting to improve the position of women with equal rights and opportunities. Continuing inequality, though, as well as misogynistic beliefs, domestic violence and rape, both in Australia and abroad, have slowed progress, threatening to keep women in a lower position. So is misogyny entrenched beneath attempts to achieve equality? And is enough being done to improve women's place in society? Our investigation looks at the concerns and dangers surrounding gender disparity. Gender equality has been an ongoing struggle for women throughout history. But many women are still struggling to be recognised on the same level as men, sexism and misogyny preventing them from being socially, economically and culturally equal.
If you care about human dignity, you've got to care when half the population is subjected to discrimination and oppression.
Kamala Emanuel is the co-convener of the Socialist Alliance of WA, fighting for the equal treatment of women. As a feminist, she's spoken out against misogynistic attitudes and prejudice against women that have led to abuse and violence.
Women die as a result of intimate partner violence, women being raped, but there's the structural violence that underpins it as well. The structure of where women are paid less, and sometimes that's direct, obvious discrimination.
She says there should be more awareness of discrimination towards women.
Any sexism anywhere, people should feel free and right to call out, because whether it's violence against women or more subtle forms of sexism, is all part of an interlocking system that upholds women's oppression.
And that feeling of oppression is widespread. Women across Australia and the world have been disadvantaged because of traditional views established throughout history. Feminist history academic Dr. Yasmina Brankovic says the dominance of patriarchy caused women's discrimination.
People need to understand that these are relations of power, that patriarchal relations are relations of power. There are relations of power in which, by and large, men benefit from women's subordination.
20th century women's liberation movements have given women the opportunity to improve their social, employment and economic standing, as well as move away from established views about women's place in society. It's given women a voice, including women in government, leading to Julia Gillard's stand against misogyny in Parliament.
You saw fewer women participating in the workforce. Now that has changed, and that has changed. Some of that has changed for the better. We have seen some legal changes that have been quite welcome. We have seen, say, outlawing of domestic violence.
But continual sexist attitudes and actions towards women's opinions, dress, intelligence and behaviour in Parliament, media and on the sporting field have renewed those views and slowed progress. These attitudes have had far-reaching effects locally and internationally, affecting women with lower socio-economic backgrounds.
We learned today about the imprisonment of women, and it's still at very high rates of imprisonment, especially amongst Aboriginal people. Obviously, some of the policies that the federal government is doing in refugees, for example, disproportionately impacts on women.
Despite concerns about treatment of women in prison and detention centres, the state government has introduced measures to help provide further opportunities for women.
We've got lots of strategies in place to try and address the gender pay gap and to ensure there are opportunities for women around economic independence and leadership. So we've been very focused on that.
And Kamala hopes it will be strategies and opportunities like these that will boost equality for women.
We should work together to create the kind of world where no girl has to fear being raped. It's important for us to build our campaigns for justice and liberation, taking the concerns of the worst off into account, but not try to pit us against each other, but raise us all.
And that's all the time we have for this week. We'll be taking a short break and Western Perspective will return in 2 weeks. Until then, have a happy Easter and good night.